Board of Directors meeting, January 19th, 2022, in the boardroom at 6300 Irvington. Come to order the open forum. I don't believe we have any public participation at this time for the meeting. The action item number 3. Let me just say this before we get started on the consider approval for the minutes. The voting members for the Public Facilities Corporation is Ms. Duhan, Mr. Norris, Mr. Cantu, Mr. Colbert, Dr. Amesqua, Mr. Joe Carrion, and myself, Rich Vela. Action item number 3 is to consider the approval of the minutes for the November 17th, 2021 PFC meeting. Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Norris.
Second.
Second by Mr. Colbert. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion passes 6-0.
Ms. Duhan voted yes.
Yes, sir. The next item on the agenda is to consider the approval of the trust agreement and attorney fees as necessary for the Harris County Department of Education Public Facility Corporation lease revenue refunding bonds, Series 2014, regarding the High Point East property as guarantee to the bonds and containing other matters related thereto. Dr. Mesqua, do you want to
Yes.
give some information towards this?
Yes, we have the High Point East property that we're renovating and also building a new school. And then at the end, a portion of that school and also the gym will be demolished. And so in the process of doing that, our bonds were secured with the old bonds, the old property with some previous refunding bonds. And so what we asked is our attorney for a bond counsel, Marcus Dietz, to do some research and make sure that what kind of action do we need to take prior to the demolition of such property, if any. Does the board take any action? And so prior to that, we thought that we needed to amend the trust agreement or defease the bonds. And so he's going to give us some of the result of his research and contact with Bank of Texas to let us know what kind of action we need to take.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me here today. Marcus Dietz with Orrick Harrington Sutcliffe. That was a pretty good background introduction of what we were trying to do, so let me jump right into it. And if I'm going too fast or if something doesn't make sense, just stop me by all means. And so, as Dr. Amesqua mentioned, you're on the ongoing capital improvement program, the HP East campus. Modifications are going to be made to it. And originally, some of these transactions are fairly real estate intensive and somewhat complicated. The 2014 bonds that we thought encumbered the HP East campus were in fact used to build the HP East campus, but weren't pledged as collateral for that. So that was a little bit of the confusion that came up when we were talking about this whole thing. So at the end of the day, at Dr. Mesqua's direction, we did all the research he requested, and it turns out that the HP East campus is pretty much free and clear, but for the 2020 bonds, which the improvement plan there contemplated remodeling that campus. So the short answer is there's really nothing we need to do with respect to the 2014 bonds. The HP East campus, you can do what you want to with it at this point in time, but it was a good exercise to go through because I think it helped us all. There's been a series of issuances over the past 15, 20 years, and it made us understand a little bit better kind of where everything sit. But the capital improvement plan that you're implementing works well. There's nothing else we need to do with respect to the 2014 bonds. So in a nutshell, that's it. I'm happy to answer additional
That
questions.
include the 2015 bonds as well?
2015 bonds were completely defeased at this point, and so those properties are free and clear as well. So you guys are, sure, go ahead.
So I'm going to try to explain this in the simplest way I do, and
Sure.
I'm saying it for you for calibration so you can ground me if I'm wrong. So
Okay.
essentially, the whole thing that's at issue here is we took out a loan, HCDE, in 2014 for High Point East.
To make modifications to the High Point.
Blah, blah, blah.
That's correct.
Now we're about to tear down one of those facilities that we took out a loan for without us paying off the full loan yet. Does that make sense? And so what we've asked the bank is, can we do that?
And
we tear down, modify, do we whatever? Even though we're almost paid off that whole loan, but we haven't.
That's exactly right.
And so essentially what you're saying is you've worked with the bank and the bank says go for it, you can do that. Does that make sense?
You said it better than I just said it. Yes, that's exactly
I
correct.
think of it as cars, you know, I'm going ahead, I hadn't paid off the car yet, and I'm already trading it in for another one, so, you
That's
know,
exactly-
you're rolling it over into something else.
The only difference is it's here, that's a perfect analogy. The bank is still collateral.
Say, what was that P word you said again?
Perfect
Oh,
analogy.
okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear
This is
that.
being recorded.
Yeah, you could go back and look.
Yeah.
The car analogy, the bank is still collateralized by another car. And so they're comfortable doing all this because even though the repairs were made over there and we're tearing it down now, they still have security over here and they recognize that you're going to pay this whole thing off in 18 months anyway. So they're very comfortable. They've been a great partner. Bank of Texas has
Yes.
been with the department over the last 10 or 15 years, and they're continuing to be very accommodating and collaborative with the department.
So no action is necessary on number 4?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And also at the board meeting, there's no action necessary?
That is correct.
So we just consider this as an information item, I guess? Is that, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you all, I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Excuse me.
Before he leaves, is it okay that, do we need Mr. Deeds at the regular board meeting, or we just articulate that? We can do that to the rest of the board?
Well, if necessary, I could use my car analogy again.
There you go.
I think we're good, Marcus.
Thank you.
I think
Okay.
we're fine. We've got 3 board members here who've heard that, and so
Okay, all
I
right.
think we should be all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you all, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. Action item number 5, moving on, action item number 5 is approval of purchase of the furniture for RFP number 19/033MJ for the ABS East project in the amount of $477,915.93. This is coming from our maintenance notes and the approving budget amendment funds from the Irvington project maintenance notes as well.
We had,
Go ahead,
in
Dr.
the
Mr.
past, transfer the excess money from ABEs to the maintenance notes, and this furniture, it qualifies for maintenance notes, so we're just transferring it to ABE so that we can pay for that with maintenance notes instead of lease revenue bonds.
Okay,
And this was, in order to issue a purchase order in December, well, actually, we haven't issued a purchase order. We issued a notice to the vendor so that we can lock in the price at that time. And so this is the second part of the approval. The board approved it in December, and this is the second part by the PFC.
Make a motion to approve as written. and
yes, sir.
presented.
Motion by Mr. Colbert. Second by Mr. Carrion. Is there any discussion on the furniture purchase? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries 6-0.
Trustee Duhon voted yes.
Yes, sir. I got it. I'm sorry. Supposed to turn this camera around. Item number 6 is the ratification of the project-related contracts under $50,000 as authorized by the administration. The first one, A, is Multi Vista in the amount of $27,235 for our ABS East project. Item B is ERC in the amount of $3,500 for our adult ed project. And item C is the HTS Consultants in the amount of $46,114, and this is for our our High Point East project that will be coming up.
These are items that were approved already by RFP's numbers and procured, and contracts were awarded. They're all under $50,000, and so we're requesting ratification of those items that are under $50,000.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Colbert,
Second.
second by Mr. Norris. Is there any discussion on the ratification? All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Next item is the approval of the budget amendment for the High Point East project in the amount of $422,102 from the maintenance notes in the Irvington project, and delegate authority to the superintendent and or his designee to adjust the above listed project budgets as necessary. Dr. Mesqua, would you like to?
Yes, this is for additional furniture that will be ordered in the future. And so, again, furniture is eligible under the maintenance notes, and we would like to use the maintenance notes for High Point East. High Point East does not have any additional excess monies for the revenue bonds, so we're transferring maintenance notes monies to the project so that we can order the furniture at this time. Or we'll order it in the future once we're ready to order furniture.
Okay, approval of the budget amendment for the High Point East project. Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Norris,
Second.
second by Mr. Colbert. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Item number 8 is the approval of local construction fund budget amendment in the amount of $700,705 in Fund 696 and the transfer to Fund 695 and appropriate $700,705 and $631,928. Dr. Mesco, would you like to give a
Yes.
little bit more information?
Yes, those are two local construction funds funded by general fund. And so what we're doing is transferring those expenditures to the maintenance note and freeing up local money so that it has more flexibility to be able to address any needs in the future for the revenue bonds. And so basically is utilizing the maintenance notes by $700,705 in year one, and then monies that are in the fund balance in the construction fund, $631,926. Those monies will be used and basically replace the maintenance notes so that we can have more of a flexibility should anything, that is not renovation come up, then we are able to address it without any restrictions. So, and so that's just a transfer within the construction accounts that we have.
Okay. Thank you. All right, do I have a motion?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Colbert,
Second.
second by Mr. Norris. Any discussion on the,
I have a question.
yes, sir, yes, ma'am? Sorry.
Is this intended to be kind of a blanket for funding any one of the capital projects that need it? Or is it going to be directed to any one of them in particular?
No, it's available for anything that is eligible for any of the other projects.
So not something that we're thinking we'll specifically need for anything in particular yet, as
Right. Right.
a cushion.
Right. We're just basically moving the funding source so that it can have more flexibility.
For all of them, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to item number 9, consideration and possible action regarding the sale disposal of the property located at 600 Cross Timbers, Houston, Texas 77022. Okay, this is a consideration again to discuss the sale and disposal of the property. Right now, currently, the property is.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry
No.
to interrupt you. Because of the participation via video conference, this meeting, unlike normally prior PFC meetings, this meeting is being recorded and it will be posted online for anyone to see. And so my preference would be to go into executive session because this deals with real property. And I'll also be providing legal advice. And so to stop the recording and go into closed session for this discussion.
Okay, so then can we go ahead, do we want to stop now, or do we want to continue on with the?
That's completely
with the-
up to you.
Right,
Okay.
right, okay, then we'll move on to item agenda number 10 then, at this point. And it's a report on the PFC investments as of December 31st. Dr. Mesqua?
Yes, let me just find so I have the PowerPoint presentation. See if I can do it through here. Our investment report, we have a portfolio of $29,496,891. Approximately 3% of that is in Bank of Texas, and the remaining in tax pool investment pools at this time, 97% of that. Our bank accounts include, we're going to utilize all those 2014, 15, and 16 payments in the next payment so as to reduce those, and we will only have the 2020 account so that we can make our payments, and It'll be less accounting work to do in terms of accounting for all those accounts. So we'll zero those out in our next payment to Bank of Texas. And so we have lease revenue bonds in 2020 of $28,467,108 in our bank account. Interest of $923. And so in terms of our project today, project acquisition as of December 31st, overall the total CIP is, including maintenance notes and CIP, is $47,323,330. That's a picture of the adult ed's project site from the top. Just some of the things that were cleared, and so the only thing that spending is the house that will be available later on, so we complete the block. Payments for December 2021 were $508,027.55. LAN, ERC, Construction Ltd., Doucette Associates, those are the payments that were made for December 2021. The next three slides are basically the payments for the last year and a half by month. I'm not going to go through those because we've reviewed them every month. And so those are the reports for December 31st, 2021. That includes items 10 and items 11.
So item 11 will be the consideration and approval of the disbursements for the PFC as of December 31st, 2021. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Norris,
Second.
second by Mr. Colbert. Is there any other discussion on the disbursements and PFC investments? All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. We'll move into item number 12, which is our update and timeline for the various projects. Our first one right now that you have in front of you, and I'm not sure if Ms. Duhan has that, is our ABS East in Coolwood. Just to give you an idea of where we're at, our anticipated substantial completion date right now currently is October 24th, 2022. Our project is in budget right now, and there is some highlights of the new ABS East as far as what it currently, well, not currently looks like, but these are some pictures of what it looks like, or what it did look like. And they're at this time, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Joe, help me with that, but they've poured the foundation and the beams right now, and I think they're trying to get the concrete caps, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Well, yes, sir. Let me back up. These are the concrete
Your mic
piers.
turned on, she can't hear you.
Yes, sir. The concrete piers have been poured, and the concrete piers caps have been poured. The concrete forms are being set, and all the underground plumbing and all the underground sanitary sewer and storm sewer are being trenched currently. And they're getting ready to pour the foundation. So it's a long process, a lengthy process. So once all the underground work is completed in the building area, they will begin the concrete pour.
So right now, currently, with the weather the way it is right now, they're able to, they're not losing any days, so we can continue as we move through the winter season, that we hope that we'll continue to be able to have good weather days, and they can keep moving like they're moving right now. So, the anticipation is, of course, the 24th of October, but hopefully we can catch some days, and maybe we can catch up a little bit on some of that. So, I think material costs, they're finally getting that lined out and stuff, and getting that taken care of. So, we're really in good shape right now with our ABS East project. Moving on to our Coolwood Head Start project. Before, when we did the estimate, our projected cost was around, 6.7, 6.8 million, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Joe?
No, sir, it's 6.3.
6.3, well, yeah, but so now at this time, of course, with a year and a half almost to going into this project, we're now looking at that cost to being about 6.7 million. Of course, this is all estimated cost, towards the grant. And so we, until we go out for bid day, we're really not real sure what these numbers are gonna look like. But we're hoping that once that comes in, that we'll see where we're at on the grant, and then we'll do some, probably have to do some, maybe some value engineering and maybe some different things to tighten up the budget and stuff like that. So this is just an estimate to know where you're, kind of where we're at right now, what we're thinking right now. Moving on to the project updates for the adult ed, or High Point Middle School adult ed. I don't believe there's a picture in here, but the site is completely clean right now. They are waiting right now for their permit. That's to be anticipated from the city of Houston at any day now. There was a couple of things that had to be reviewed by the city, but they're moving along, and I believe that once they get that permit, we'll be ready to start doing some things that they need to get done. But right now, they're cleaning the site, getting it ready, leveling it out, and they can do that right now. But there's some other things that they gotta wait for. But their construction phase is through November of 2022 as well. They're still continuing to tell us that the project is on schedule and is within budget. So we're anticipating some good things coming from that. We're really excited. The High Point Middle School, of course, we're waiting today for the defeasements and make sure we can get that cleared. Once that's done, they can ask for the demo permit for High Point, the gym. Now that that's done, we can get that, and they'll be ready to demolish that. They are right now considering that even though we're at this point, there are within timelines to have the completion of the project in November of 22 and still in budget. And that the contract, I believe, has been signed, everything's ready, and so CA Walker's just ready to put their trailer out towards the High Point Middle School. Of course, the Reagan Administration Building right now currently is on hold, and I believe that that would be anticipated to talk about that here in the upcoming future. And then, of course, there's some pictures to show you what the and there is a picture, a small picture here that shows you the site and what the anticipated look like for adult ed, and then, of course, the High Point Middle School. Going through the project timelines, are there any questions on these projects? All right. I don't see any at this time, so I guess at this time, the time is now 11:26, and we just need a motion to move to executive. You don't need a motion. Okay, so I don't need a motion. Right.